Morning, all. Oh, that works. Nice work. Oh, thank you. Two-way. No walk-on music and questionable energizers. This isn't a good start, is it? But thank you for coming. Anyone who knows me will know that I generally start with some definitions. So we called it Life in Flow Motion this year, and flow can be a verb or a noun. We tried to use it as an adjective in the conference title, which probably was ill-advised. But the action or fact of moving along in a steady, continuous stream, that's flow. And there's a rate or a speed at which something flows. And really, we're interested in the flow of value and the flow of work, making work flow faster and probably making work feel maybe a little bit easier than it sometimes does. There's another definition of flow which the team are fully aware of, and that is permanently changed state under pressure. And that's what we felt in the last week trying to put all this stuff together. So we do appreciate you coming along. And it's not always obvious how many are going to turn up. So we probably got another 20 name badges out there. And challenges with travel in Derby is proving interesting today. So it's about flow and interesting slide. The CT and the flow at the end of product. We're looking to try and make work flow, whether that's creative work, doing stuff that no one's ever done before, delivering value to the world. So new product development, new service development. Whether it's knowledge flow, service delivery, process type work, or whether it's product flow, i.e. we know what the product is, we know the work content required to deliver it, but we just want to deliver it faster and relentlessly remove waste. Now, the context for making work flow is quite significant in that what we describe as value in those different contexts is different, and how we describe the work in those contexts is different. i.e. if you've done something loads of times before, you know exactly what it takes. If you've never done it before and no one else in the world has because you're going to create unique value, then it's going to be quite hard to describe the work content. But nevertheless, we're going to want to make sure that our efforts that we're putting in are ultimately delivering value. So we've got to treat those things slightly differently. And on the agenda today, we're touching on different types of work context. So as you look around, as you listen to the talks, go to the workshops and mill around out there and talk to the technology partners, you'll see different contexts going on that that help us describe the work slightly differently. Now, there's another definition of flow, and that is personal flow. So hopefully some of you will have experienced it, the state in which people are so involved in an activity that time flies and nothing else seems to matter. That peak optimal performance. Everyone get that? Every day in work? Not every day, probably 10 times a week, something like that. Yeah. And it's first coined, actually, personal flow, in this book called Flow by the psychologist whose name I can't pronounce. So if you can pronounce that name, you'll be entered into a prize draw later. But what was quite interesting about that book is he describes the state of flow as a balance between skill and challenge, where the challenge always just exceeds the skill available to do it. If there's no challenge and you're highly skilled, you're going to be really bored. And people who are bored in work tend to make up processes and then drive others to comply. Or if the challenge is much, much bigger than the skills, you're going to experience a state of anxiety, a state of stress. I have no idea how we're going to do this. I have no idea. And so we want to get into a state where, as the author describes, there's a flow channel. There's a positive stretch and challenge that just exceeds our skill. And when we achieve it, we give ourselves intrinsic motivation to try some more. So we keep moving forward in this flow channel. And as he describes, this happens when psychic energy is invested in realistic goals and when skills match the opportunities for action. So we're going to touch on that a little bit in the agenda, the state of personal flow. just after the coffee break. And I'm going to contend that there's another state of flow, and that's team flow. So if we talked about work, we've talked about individuals, but individuals don't deliver anything. It always takes more than one person collaborating to produce something, always. So the state of team flow, and those of you who know I'm a little bit geeky, but there was a study done in Google, and you can look it up, called Project Aristotle. And basically the team at Google looked at all the teams that they had working and tried to understand what made some teams more productive than others. And then they did some regression analysis, statistical analysis, to try and drive down to what are the key factors that are driving changes in performance. And this is where the rise of psychological safety came from. So what they concluded was over 40% of the variability in team performance was driven by psychological safety. So a shared belief that the team is safe to take interpersonal risks. And what that really means is, I feel safe enough to say what I really think and feel. I'll invite you to reflect on all the different teams that you work in and think about, are there some teams where you're not willing to say what you really think? Bet there are. Bet there are. So psychological safety, dependability, i.e., I can rely on you, you can rely on me, we can rely on each other to deliver something that neither of us alone can. And structure and clarity. I know the space I'm playing in, you know the space you're playing in. The sum of those spaces is going to move us forward. And then the last two, and there's quite a lot in literature now about these last two, meaning of work. This work that I am doing is meaningful. It aligns with my core purpose. And given that, there's nothing more frustrating if you're doing the nicest work that is really meaningful to you and really profoundly important, and you're not making any progress or any difference. That would be awful, wouldn't it? So the last one they found was impact of work. But they found that psychological safety was the most important thing. I'll just go a little bit geeky here. I've got a tiny bit of time. I'm going to take Matt's time on the agenda, I think. Psychological safety, they identified two things that you could see in a team that would determine whether there was psychological safety present or not. One was what they called equality of conversational turn-taking. What that really means in English is, are team members talking for roughly the same amount of time when they come together? It's interesting, isn't it? I would warrant most of the meetings we go to, that isn't present. And the second one was ostentatious listening. Weird words, but when someone speaks, is the next person speaking building on the point that was made, or are they making their own point that they've been thinking about? Really interesting, isn't it? Two things you can see in any setting that will give you an indicator of whether team members feel safe in that environment. Interesting. We've got our own model. You've got to have a model, and anyone who's filled in the SCORE app survey will have got a response that is aligned with this model. So our model for helping teams work together to drive collaboration, because nothing's delivered without teams working together, is this 5-step model. So we connect strategy to action. So we want to make sure that if we're expending our effort in work every day, that it's going to something meaningful, and we align with what that meaning is. So can we clearly align what everyone is doing every day to furthering the goals of the organization? Create transparency. There are some fantastic tools out front that will talk about transparency and show how to drive transparency. There's a trade. I won't be transparent unless I trust what you're going to do with what I tell you. You won't trust me until I'm transparent. Trade. Then we try to establish a collaboration cadence. Most organizations don't work together on a drumbeat. Most teams don't work together on a drumbeat. And if they do, often the business cycle doesn't relate directly to the team collaboration cycle. So that's probably a problem. Enabling people to win together. It's not natural to collaborate. it's quite difficult, it's quite clunky, it requires you to do things you wouldn't naturally do. You want to make progress. If you want to make progress yourself, you're in control of what you do, so you're probably more likely to drive yourself to do stuff than in a team context. But you'll deliver more if you work together. And then finally, the strive for better. Are we better today than we were yesterday? Are we going to be better tomorrow than we are today? That's progress, right? So our model's based on that. So if you filled out the Score app and the survey, and I'm going to find out shortly, by the way, looking at you, Rory. It's going to navigate you through the agenda. So the agenda we've got, shortly, Matt is going to talk to us about his organization Weights and the drive for quality assurance in that sector and what the team are doing about it. And all the talks today will be in here. So then Dave Pounds is going to talk about what if you can design your life. So this is the state of personal flow. And Dave went through a relatively traumatic experience, and he'll talk about his pathway and his personal journey. Then we're going to have a fireside chat with the Digital Fire with Jo. Jo's from AstraZeneca, and she's a lean director and lean coach. So we'll talk about Jo's experience of human-centered change and connecting strategy to action. After lunch, Bruno's going to join us. Bruno's from Valent, and he's going to talk about their lean journey and the difference that's made and the learning and reflections from it. And then Stephen is going to talk after that about flow through a QC lab in the pharmaceutical sector and how he moved away from scheduling into a different way of managing work using Kanban. Luan's going to come and talk about Business Map and AI. And then we're going to finish with Mo Bobat. Some people in the room will know Mo is the director of cricket at the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and they just won the IPL, which is basically the biggest sports competition in the world. So if we were in Bangalore right now, probably there'd be about 20,000 people in this room. So talks are going on in here. At points throughout the day, we're running workshops. So they're going to be in the River Room. And the River Room, if you go out there and go up the stairs, it's on the first floor. As soon as you exit the stairwell, it's straight in front of you. And we've got 3 workshops running, one at 11 o'clock, which is Picture the Flow. So if anyone's seen a rich picture out in the foyer, John and the team will be talking through the process, and you'll get to experience the process that leads to the development of a rich picture, and we'll give you some handy follow-on steps. Then at 11:45, we're going to look at the characteristics of flow and queuing theory, arrivals and departures through a process. Adam's going to be running that, so if you want some practical stuff on that. And then Where Does Your Week Go is about collaboration cadence. What might be different if we spent more time on looking forward than dealing with what's happened in the past? So we're going to look at cadence. Throughout the day in the old shop, which is through there, Abby, who is somewhere, Abby's outside prowling, is available to talk about any flow challenges you've got. And during the breaks outside, Business Map and IOBEA are going to be demonstrating their awesome toolkits. And I know at least some of you are interested to see that. So mill around, it's a bit of a pun, isn't it? Choose where you want to go, choose what you want to do. Hopefully the Score app that you filled in gives you a little bit of direction through that. I'm going to invite 1 member per table now, just 1 member, to follow this Menti link. And then I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And this is just a device, right? This is a device to get you to talk to each other. That's all it is, thinly veiled. So 1 of you per table to go to the Menti, and then I'll test you all on how closely you've been listening. Nice, we're all in. Thank you for that. Thank you for partaking in this thinly veiled device. There's something for everyone on the agenda. We've got 11 inputs and 10 tables, I think. That's quite interesting, but Novi? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? There's something for all of these on the agenda, and in the score app, if you filled it in the PDF, there'll be some recommendations based on your personal score for what you probably shouldn't miss. So if we just flick back to the presentation, of course, the reason I did that is because we want to build connections, and the connection we want to build isn't, well, nice. The connection we want to build is not necessarily between whoever's on the stage and you, because that will come for free, but between each other, because you'll learn more from each other than you'll probably learn from people up here. And you'll probably take different things away. So we want to create the environment where people are talking to each other, and particularly those that they haven't spoken to or met yet. And I spoke to someone who attended last year, and I said, what was the best thing from the conference? He said, realizing that other people had the same problems that I did, and knowing I wasn't alone. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So, and P.S., we were joking, the development of this conference, you can see how much bigger it was from last year, and that last year we had no QR codes. This year we've got about 30, something like that. That's how big this is now. But one of the QR codes is an experiment we want to run, which is, we've got an app called Circle, and Circle allows people to join and sort of creates a community. And so there's a group in Circle related to this conference, and it gives the opportunity not just for us to push the content and the talks from the conference, but for you to direct message each other inside the platform, and we won't see it. So if you want to build connections, if you want to continue a dialogue, then Circle is the way forward. So you'll see QR codes around, and I'll finish with that slide again shortly. Two final things, and then Matt will come to the stage and dazzle us. There you go. Yeah. A thank you to our sponsors. Putting on events like this isn't really possible without some support and sponsorship, and we're blessed with the people we've got. So Quest Global, where are Quest Global? Out the back. Oh, and in the front, love it. Thank you for your support, and a global and local business, and I'm sure the guys are available to chat around what they do and where they're supporting and some of their insights throughout the day, so please do that. And Ayabea and Business Map as solution partners, one of the vehicles to driving transparency, so their fancy screens are out the front, and there are some talks throughout the day on how to use those tools and some of the business benefits that they give. And finally, who doesn't love a sticker? Joe's beautifully modeling the sticker handout. I know there's at least one person in here who doesn't love a sticker, but we'll come back to that. To make the most out of the day, and you'll all have different routes through it, what we thought we'd do is create a little quest. So Adam over there has developed stickers. These are them. Those stickers will be around the place. So you can get one sticker from talking to someone from Project 4. You'll know they're from Project 4 because they've got some lovely gilets on, or they've got a little, what's that? Fuchsia. Fuchsia, yes, it's not pink, it's fuchsia. Band on their name tag. You'll get one for joining a workshop today, or we're going to do some online ones after the conference because we haven't got capacity to put you all through workshops. So, but you can sign up for one on Circle. You'll get a sticker for that. If you share a post on LinkedIn or in Circle, the app, you'll get a sticker for your insights from the day. And if you visit the tech stand and talk to either Business Map or Ayabea, they will be equipped with stickers as well. If you get 4 stickers, untold riches await you. Or a bigger sticker awaits you. That is it silver, Adam? It's a shiny sticker. So it's not color, it's shiny. And if you do manage to procure that shiny sticker, then there's a prize draw at the end. And there are prizes. Most of them are good. So with that, just want to thank you. Please make the most of the day. You'll do that by talking to each other. Choose the path that works for you, and thank you very much.